Do you suffer from FOMO? Fear of missing out on your favorite sporting event when you're away from home? With IPVanish VPN, you don't have to worry about streaming content over unsafe or restricted Wi-Fi to watch your favorite events. IPVanish VPN allows you unlimited and secure streams to all your favorite sporting events. Don't let unsafe Wi-Fi and ISP throttling stop you from cheering on your home team or favorite athletes. Get IPVanish VPN now.
And that is our friends at IPVanish. QR code there. Get 83% off VPN. And you can download that and obviously use it potentially for tonight, if you say you're in a different country. Anyway, no, particularly for the US lot, if you want to see Sky Sports or vice versa, check out IPVanish in the description below and the QR code. We've done our pre-match bit outside London Stadium. We did the stats attack this morning, and then what we try and do a few hours before the game is try and predict the starting 11. Now we know there's going to be no Füllkrug. He's out for a foreseeable amount of time by all accounts, while we await the scan of his injury. We know 𝗗𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗡 isn't going to be back until probably maybe just after the international break in November, possibly. Apart from that, clean bill of health. So what's Nuno going to do? What is Supanez going to do, particularly in that forward position? And I think I might have an idea. We'll get to that. Now, let's try and predict the starting 11, shall we? Actually, we don't need the other logo. Let's take that logo out. That's it. Let's try and predict the starting 11. In goal, I think Areola keeps his jersey. I don't think he's done anything wrong to lose it under Nuno. That might change, now, we've got sorted the backroom staff sorted now. He did say there was going to be, Mads, for example, he's going to get opportunities and stuff. So who knows? Obviously, we've got 2 games in quite quick succession. Obviously, we played today or tonight, and then we play Friday night as well. So maybe a change. During the international break, we know that Nuno did experiment with a back 3 in a behind closed doors friendly against Ipswich, just to give himself some options. But I don't think that's the way he's going to go today. I think he's going with a back 4. Is he? Yeah, let's stay. Yeah, come on, let's just do it. Come on. Diouf, Maximilian Kilman, who I think actually, to be honest, out of everyone, he's the one who's probably benefited most from Nuno coming in. Seems a completely different player in the last couple of games. I still think Mavropanos, he likes more physical centre halves. You got to look at his time at Nottingham Forest. Milenkovic, Amarillo, both very physical. Arguably, Mav's probably the most physical centre half we've got. More so than I would suggest someone like 𝗗𝗙𝗙𝗡. And particularly, we know that Brentford are, very, very deadly in terms of set plays, long throws. So we need as much height as we need. And I think that might prelude what we do in the forward positions, but we'll come to that in a minute. I think Wan-Bissaka comes back in. And, until January, that's probably our back 4 or back 5, really, I think. There might be a change in January with Mavropanos, maybe, bringing someone like maybe a Charlie Cresswell in or someone like that, something a bit more oomph. Now, midfield, I think Magassa. Again, the fact is that Nuno's had a couple of weeks now during the international break to work with him. We know he likes him. We know he wanted to sign him when it was at Nottingham Forest as well. So, he's very much in that position. Then I think it gets a little bit interesting, maybe. Now, there's a couple of ways he can go. For me, I think, he sticks with Fernandez. He sticks with Bowen on the wing. He sticks with what am I doing there? Sticks with Somerville on the other wing. Now, there's options. The simplest option would be that. The simplest option. But I don't think Nuno really likes Callum Wilson. Has Callum Wilson has he actually made any minutes? Oh, very few minutes if he has at all. Yeah, so he might have made. I can't remember. It's a blur. The last 2 games, to be honest. He might do that. He might. What I think he will do, because of the threat of Brentford and their set pieces, and you're probably not going to like this, but I think he's going to do this and do that. That's what I think he's going to do. And maybe even interchange these two. You know, these two could potentially change position as and when things happen. But I think, considering, I just think 𝗗𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗡 is a bit of a ace up the sleeve in terms of being able to defend in both boxes. I'm not saying I'm particularly enamored with it. I don't think he'll put Freddie Potts in there, for example. I think he will put something like 𝗗𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗡 in, because in all honesty, you've got a midfield of Potts, Magassa, Fernandes, all under the age of 21. I think Potts 22 actually, but all quite young, but relatively, inexperienced in terms of Premier League football. I think 𝗗𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗡 in there, I think he'd be more of an asset there in terms of his defensive qualities, not necessarily in attacking sense, but in defensive qualities. Maybe even you could even swap it. So if you wanted energy, 𝗗𝗘𝗙𝗡 could just sit in front of the back four. That's not usually his style, though. We know that. But I think that could be an option. Is it the option I pick? Probably not. I would prefer the first one. I prefer Paqueta in the sort of the 8-10 role, or sort of actually more like that, a bit like that, or actually, to be honest, it's more like a 3. It's more like a 3. That's what I would prefer. I think he'd pick Wilson over Marshall rather. Callum Wilson over Callum Marshall, just for that height thing. I know he's only 6'2". He's not the tallest, but I think then Marshall comes on. Would he go with Bowen up top? I don't think he would. I mean, there is, you could move it all about. You could play the back 3, but I think he'll just stick with what he likes to do. Sort of more of a 4-2-3-1. Paqueta's actually more there, to be honest. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to check out IPVanish for your to get your VPNs ahead of the game, and also don't forget to check out our friends at Match Bingo and get your dobbers and dabbers for the game ahead. Get your cards in and win some money. Lovely. Hopefully, over 18s and UK based only. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. There might we might be doing a watch along. We might not. Things, we'll let you know. Keep an eye on the channel. If not, we'll definitely do a review show. I'll be walking around. Obviously, with that, any money that's generated from that video would go straight to the Iron Supporting Food Bank, so we don't profit from the boycott itself. Anyway, take care, everyone. Much love. See you later, potatoes.